Hi, I'm Caleb Froedge, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. I recently spoke with a friend who serves as a volunteer firefighter and backup chief. He reminded me of something firefighters never forget. Every fire has a source, and every fire needs fuel. Our verse for today is Proverbs 26 and verse 20. Where there is no wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no talebearer, strife ceases. Firefighters talk about the fire triangle: ignition, fuel, and oxygen. Remove one, and the fire dies. The initial spark may begin with something small, such as a drag chain striking the pavement or dry grass caught in a hot ATV muffler. Just a spark. But when the environment is right, that spark can consume thousands of acres of productive land. The same is true spiritually. A talebearer or a slanderer is like that spark. A few careless or malicious words can spread rapidly under the right conditions. James 3 and verse 6 tells us the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity, small but capable of enormous destruction. Here's something important to think about. A spark with no fuel dies immediately. A lie told where no one is listening to it or they don't take it in, it stops right there. Wrong communication doesn't spread in isolation without a continued fuel source. Have you ever thought that the fuel to a talebearer are those willing to listen and accept a certain lie or accept gossip? Those who accept it are the ones that then spread it themselves, and they become that new initial fuel source for future flames. They become the new talebearer of gossip or slander. They become a new starting point in feeding the flame. The fuel are those ready to receive the gossip, repeat it, and then sometimes even reshape it. They give wind to the flame. As is the case with an actual wildfire, once it gets going strong, the fire can start to generate its own weather from within. It can create its own narrative, so to speak. There can be fire tornadoes that spin off from the original wildfire, and they call those fire-nados, and it can also create its own internal wind. Just as a wildfire can create its own weather from within, gossip can really take on a life of its own. The narrative can grow, information can spin off, and intensify beyond the original spark. Fortunately, there is hope that God gives us and reminds us of. Damaging blazes can be put out, and there can be future peace, but the fuel source must be removed. There are different means to remove the fuel source, but many firefighters strive to remove the fuel source head on. Not really fighting fire with fire, but indirectly they do to a certain degree. What they do is sometimes create controlled burns, areas where vegetation is already consumed, and so the advancing flames, when they arrive, there's nothing left to burn. They hit it head on and stop it from advancing because they remove that future fuel source. Speaking the truth in love works in a similar way when it comes to gossip or slander. When a lie is confronted with truth, oxygen for the lie is hindered. Forward momentum slows down. And yet the initial verse for today goes even deeper because it reminds us that if we really want lasting peace, the initial source must be totally removed. Physically, that would mean putting away the dragging chain or removing the grass from the ATV muffler. Eliminate the source, and you prevent future fires. The Bible tells us that Satan is the father of lies. He is the ultimate talebearer who swayed a third of the angels to rebel against God. And he must be put away so that there will be future peace. Truth is going out today, but there are many fires that continue to rage in the world at large. Satan must be put away for strife to cease in the world. Revelation 20 in verses 1 through 3 says, "Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid hold of the dragon, that serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal on him so that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were finished." Satan is released for a short time after the 1,000 years, in which he goes out to deceive the nations once again, but he is quickly stopped and rendered inoperable forever. We look forward to that time when the destructive fires will be completely stopped and the source of all lies is completely removed. Where there is no wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no talebearer, strife ceases.
Verse by Verse is a Life, Hope, and Truth podcast. Check out the show notes to find more free content, like videos, articles, and booklets in our Learning Center.